We've been looking at some of the key bikes for 2018, and the Scott E-Genius 710 is one of those bikes. E-mountain bikes only really broke onto the scene a few years ago, and it seems every time a new one comes out, they're pushing the boundaries of where e-bikes are really going to go. First off, they started as either really compromised geometry bikes with long back ends, short front ends, or they looked really messy, just a motor bolted onto an existing platform. But where we're heading now with some of the current raft of the top-end e-bikes is perhaps a maturity in the e-bike market. Let's hope. Every time we reviewed a bike, they seem to get better and better, and the ones we reviewed 6 months ago were already out of date. The motors are changing, the integration is changing, the shape of the bikes is changing all the time. But now, hopefully, we've reached maturity. We've got to the point now where the geometry on e-bikes is pretty much sorted. They're looking more and more like a normal bike, and if that matters to you, then it really does matter. And we're also getting components which are specifically designed for e-bikes. The Scott E-Genius is arguably one of the best e-bikes out there at the moment, thanks to a combination of these three elements. Scott do a great job of integrating their e-bike models into their entire families of bikes, and this you can see through the Genius. It looks very similar to even the top-end EWS race bikes. We've got 150mm of travel through their trunnion-mounted upside-down shock, which was introduced as a platform in the last year or two. Up front, we've got the Fox 34 e-bike specific fork, so this is one of those components which has been engineered specifically for an e-bike. Given that e-bikes can deliver quite a lot of power to the back wheel, yours plus the motors, it's great to see that we've got some really chunky, soft rubber mounted onto wide rims, and this makes the absolute most of all the power that's going through the chain to the back wheel. Scott are also using our favourite motor at the moment, which is the Shimano Steps. It's got a really beautiful feel as you ride up trails. It's got a lot of low-end torquey grunt, and it provides plenty of power as you go towards its maximum speed of 15.5 miles an hour in the UK. The display and the controls are also much better in our opinion than the Bosch ones, so if you're going to stick a motor onto a bike, generally speaking we would say Shimano is the way to go. It's not hard to notice the bird's nests of cables around the front of the bike, and it's fair to say it's a little bit messy out there. You've got brakes, you've got gears, you've got the motor control, you've got the dropper post, and then you've got their twin lock system. This is kind of unique to Scott, and it's worked with the Fox nude rear shock. What it means is you've got a fully open 150mm of travel, you've got a traction mode with 100mm of travel worked through the damping of the shock, and then you've got a locked out mode as well. Generally speaking, on the e-bikes we haven't really used it that much, as there's plenty of power there to help you get up technical climbs. It's something we actually quite like on the non-powered version of the Genius though. One of the things we do like about the Genius family as a whole is their geometry. It's gone for the more contemporary long, low and slack system, so decent reaches, slack head angles, reasonably steep seat angles and sort of medium length chainstays. One issue we do have with this version of the bike though is that the BB is super low. We believe the reason is that Max has re-engineered their tyres between giving the specs to Scott and them actually speccing the tyres. We've measured this as 10mm lower than the spec sheet gives us on their website. Normally with an e-bike you can power up rocky technical climbs, but with such a low BB we are getting a lot of pedal strike issues on this bike. When the trail points back down the hill though, this bike is incredibly planted. The suspension system at the back is super supple, it soaks up all the hits without giving any indication of getting out of control or out of touch with what's going on. The bike is long, it's slack, it's stable, so you can push it really hard and really fast. It's definitely a sense of confidence when you're heading down the hill. Arguably, the harder and faster you push an e-bike with plus tyres, the more likely you are to feel the tyre rolling. But the Maxxis treads on this tyre are as good as they pretty much get for plus tyres. They are a good compromise though, because you can push them really hard in gnarly terrain. If you're looking for a bike that has really good geometry, good kit and the great motor, the Scott E-Genius could well be that bike. If you've been thinking about buying an e-bike but holding off because you weren't sure where they're going, now could well be the time. And that is why the Scott E-Genius is one of our key bikes for 2018.